you know, what you expect, generally speaking, even from journalists who aren't, you know, who are more of the attack dog variety, or who maybe aren't positively predisposed to you ideologically or personally, you expect a certain modicum of professional politeness.
Right.
You know, because, well, you don't have to be there, and you came, and you accepted an invitation, and all of that. And so even with the Channel 4 journalist, Kathy Newman, she was quite polite and forthcoming in the green room before the interview,
right.
you know. So she would have had at least that professional persona,
right.
which is, it's not nothing, right? There's something to be said for going through the motions professionally in an appropriate manner. But when I walked into the hotel room in Baltimore, it was obvious that this interviewer had already made up her mind about me 100%, and that she was absolutely, you know, negatively predisposed to me with a personal animus. And animus is exactly the right word. And there was about a half an hour photography session because it was GQ. And so I was in that atmosphere. The photographers were fine. I was in that atmosphere for about 45 minutes before we started to talk. And part of the reason that I'm so, I'm not as calm during that interview as I usually am. I'm a little bit harsher. And the reason for that is that, you know, it just started off instantly combative. And what I should have done, you see, it's very, very difficult to be awake enough to do these things properly. And the interview progressed fine, although by the end of it, I thought that I had maybe done enough interviews for a while, because I didn't think I had regulated my temper as well during that interview as I might have. I was
You actually
harsher.
did.
Well, it's
for the
not
first
so
few
bad.
minutes, you were getting angry, and then she brought up a question about anger, and I just saw you kind of adjust, and then after that, it was smooth sailing.
Well, that's good, because it was touch and go, you know, and I thought, boy, you know, maybe you're running out of patience. Maybe you know, maybe it's time to dial back on the interviews, because, you know, I've had many interviews like that, and they're very, I find them like, and it takes me like 3 days to recover from an interview.
And then
like
you start thinking to yourself, like, what I should have said. I should have said that, and I drive myself mad. No, but you did very well. But it's so interesting that what it told me was how parochial she was, and she lives in her own little world.
But Christina, isn't it more a little bit about the ideology of our time? And gosh, you encounter this everywhere. And when I used to write about this, wisely, I would encounter it. I mean, I think part of the issue is that you will acknowledge that there are differences between the sexes. That seems to be
I know, that's a hell of a
the
sexist
heresy.
thing to do.
No, that's a heresy. Because when I was reading your book, there's nothing about it that is anti-female. In fact, you do a lot of examination of the Adam and Eve story, and